Let's talk about narcissistic abuse, the Wizard of Oz, and shamanism. I did a video last year on Little Red Riding Hood and how the symbolism in Little Red Riding Hood points to narcissistic abuse. Alice in Wonderland has it too, and I'm sure there are others. But today we're going to talk about the Wizard of Oz and the shamanic piece in it as well. And the reason I want to do this video is because, one, I meet and hear a lot of people that are in narcissistic relationships, or they were in narcissistic, like parents for narcissisms, or friends have been narcissisms or are narcissistic, or people still continue to attract narcissistic people. And I used to be a magnet for narcissistic people. And you're probably an empath watching this, and many of us empaths, narcissists love empaths. But let's talk about, so this is why we get to be fierce and strong. But let's talk about the Wizard of Oz and the symbolism in the Wizard of Oz. So Dorothy, right? She's super innocent, super cute, even got a little basket with her dog, and a big, like, it's so shamanic, right? This tornado, a big wind, like the wind and the earth, and unearths her, right? And moves her out of her control. She's powerless. She's knocked out. She's asleep, and brings her into the land of the Oz. She lands on the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, the Wicked Witch of the West is definitely, there are two different narcissists portrayed in the Wizard of Oz: the Wicked Witch of the West and the Oz himself. Now, the Wicked Witch of the West, she lands on the narcissist. Oh, no, I forget, or the East. I can't remember, right? It was the sister. She lands on the sister, and then Glenda the Good Witch was like, oh, no, you're going to be getting it from the other one's going to be super mad. You better take these ruby slippers, right? But she lands, she like kills one of the narcissists, because the Wicked Witch of the West, the one that's in the movie, all she cares about, right, is herself and her agenda. And she represents that covert narcissist, the one that's just out there being destructive, doesn't even really cares about their image, but doesn't really care about your feelings at all. And even like in the terms, when you hear people talk about narcissistic abuse, they use the term flying monkeys, right? Like, and that represents, like, the narcissist sends out their flying monkeys to destroy the person they're after. Okay, so let's get back to this. So she lands, and she's in a fantasy land, but she's all alone, and she's all by herself. All to get to the Oz, to the savior. And even Glenda the Good Witch, right? She doesn't really do much for her. Like, she's like, oh, she's more of a coach, right? She's not like a savior. She's like, do this and we'll bring you home. But she doesn't save Dorothy. She coaches Dorothy on what to do. So Dorothy goes off innocent as all be out, and she's on her way to find the savior that's going to bring her home. Now think about that from a shamanic standpoint. And this is something that I use the term all the time, and I'm sure other shamanic practitioners do too. The work we do in shamanism, the work that we do in my courses, in my classes, and in the one-to-one, is the entire intention of everything is to bring you back home to yourself and your connection to the divine, to bring you back home. Whether we are working with soul retrievals, power retrievals, we are doing what we can, not even what we can, we're doing it to bring you back home to yourself. There's so many ways that we dissociate from ourselves all the time: TV, social media, food, alcohol. So trauma has dissociated many people, upset, stress. So the idea is to come back home. So here she is going down the yellow brick road, like the golden path, right? The golden path to bring you back home. And then along the way, she meets a heartless person, straw man, right? Straw man. She meets someone the lion, who's lacking courage. What's the other one? Straw man, lion, Tin Man. Oh yeah, Tin Man doesn't have a heart. We got them, those two together. Tin Man, no heart. Straw Man, no brain. Lion, no courage. So when you think about narcissistic abuse, whether you've actually been in a narcissistic relationship or had narcissistic friends, or you've even heard of it, what the narcissist does. And the sad thing about a narcissist, like a true narcissist, someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, they have no compassion, they have no empathy, they only care about themselves. And there's so much more to that. What has happened is they have frozen around their wounding. This is what I mean by that is usually they're very, very damaged people. So they need to prop up the ego so that they feel better. And it's like and they will do whatever it takes to protect the ego at all costs. But they've frozen around their wounding, meaning like it's still in there, but no one can get to it because it will affect the ego too much. So they will do it. Plus, because they're so frozen and they're run by ego, they're completely run by ego, they feed. They feed. They energetically feed. So the straw man, the tin man, and the lion all represent the different ways a narcissist, excuse me, I'm going to turn off my email, the different ways a narcissist feeds, right? They will take where you feel like you have no heart left, like you have no soul left. They will make you feel like you're not smart. They will gaslight you. You don't have a brain. You're not smart. Gaslighting you, right? And then the other thing is they will take away your courage. I have worked with so many clients that they have been with a narcissistic partner, or their mom or dad was one. They hadn't done the work yet, and they've lost so much power that sometimes they end up getting sick. And it starts to affect their body, and they lose courage. Like you lose yourself. You're like, who am I anymore? So here along the way on the yellow brick road, she meets these things that represent what happens if you give your power away to a narcissist. And I've been there. I've been in, before I did all my work. I mean, still, even recently I was, sometimes they will sneak by you, but I'm not going into my story today. I just get it. So here they are, going. She represents innocence, right? Total innocence, but she's got the power of these ruby red slippers, right? The power is always with her to bring her back home. All she has to do is go, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. All she has to do is wish it. All she has to do is intention it, and she's home. Do you know how powerful that is from a shamanic standpoint, right? Like even from a soul standpoint, that's what we teach in shamanism. You have the power. Always the power lies within, not without. Always within and not without. And even with narcissism, right? We are dealing with narcissism, whether you're dealing with it on an individual level, person to person, or look at our world leaders. They're all raging narcissists. Well, I can't say for sure, but I would bet good money that many of them, I'll say many, not all, many of them are raging narcissists. But we are surrounded by that energy, oh God, what are they? Celebrity energy, narcissistic energy. Look at me, it's just everywhere. It's kind of like permeates in our society, right? And so those of us that are empathic and very angelic in nature, and it's like the light, they're very, very attracted to the light. So here we are. She's looking for her savior, which a lot of us have done. She gets there and it's all a mirage, right? And that's what the narcissist does. It's the man behind the curtain. It's all a mirage. They put the ego out front. Look at me, look how powerful I am. But it's all fake. It's not real. But when they're exposed, watch out, because that's when the flying monkeys will come. That's when the flying monkeys will come. And you can read about this. This is what they do. They will start attacking you. I mean, this is true narcissistic abuse, okay, right? There's people that have narcissistic traits and tendencies, but true narcissistic abuse, sending out the flying monkeys. They do not like to be exposed. It's protect the ego at all costs, right? But then at the end, they all realize the courage was always there. The brains were always there. The heart was always there. They just needed to take their power back. And Dorothy realizes that she could go home at any time. And in fact, she was already home, right? She was already home. She just went on an internal journey because she had the dream. And the people that she lived with on the farm represented all of these characters. But it was her inner journey back to herself, where she realizes, I have the power. And it's very symbolic, like I said, in shamanism too, right? That the symbolism of a tiger, a straw man, fake man, right? Tin Man, monkeys, what do they represent? The golden brick road, the ruby red slippers, magic, right? Magic. The magic is there. It's always with us. And then of course, the shadow side, the wicked witch, the thing, the entities, the energies that are there, that can possibly, that are there around us that we need to not engage in. Staying focused on the light, staying focused on going back home to ourselves, staying focused on that yellow brick road within, to the light within. As we're going into this, like we're now in February 2024, I'm going to leave you with this. Remember that you have the power to change anything in your life. And that the goal, I'm hoping, if this lands for you, is to continue coming back home to yourself again and again and again. If you get off track, come back home. You regroup. Self-cleaning oven. And if there is something in you where you have like, here's your yellow brick road and something keeps taking you this way, whether it's fear or whether it's a relationship that you may not want to be in. I don't want to live in the city anymore. I want a new job, and something's niggling you and you know it's taking you away from that yellow brick road within, taking you back home within yourself. The courage, like the lion, you have the courage to create the world and the life that you want to live, your own world that you want to live in. This year is the year, this decade really is the year of the spiritual warrior. The shamanic work is going to be so incredibly, it's always been helpful for people, but I'm really feeling that this year, particularly, and the years to come, this decade, being able to tap into your inner power. And the way that shamanic work works is that it helps you tap into your shamanic power in a way that I don't find any other practice to do. Because that's where it has been cultivating. It's like, you are ultimately powerful, so powerful. So take a moment and look, where am I getting off my yellow brick road? If you do have a relationship, even if it's peripheral, with someone who is displaying narcissism, and you need support navigating through that, get support. And do what you can to remember your power. Don't let anyone take your power. If you feel like you're being gaslit or lied to, most likely you are. Use your intuition, stay grounded, and you don't owe anyone anything. What I mean by that is sometimes people stay in relationships because they think they owe someone. This is the year of truth. This is the decade of truth, but particularly this year, truth. What is your truth? What is your truth? Where is your courage? Where are you honoring your courage, your mind, and your heart? No one's here to save you. There's no Wizard of Oz. Home, yellow brick road. You get it. You get it. All right. My name is Beth Osmer. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.